Everyone, welcome to the PrepZone Podcast. I'm your host, Estevao, Divino, and today I'm sitting here with RecordZone, Adam Udell. Adam, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me on this.
Of course, man. I'm so excited to have you. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today, but the first thing I have to kick off, which I think that everyone... Are you tired of talking about the word game?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's in the past, and we've talked a lot about last year with just the basketball year as a whole because it was really great. But this year, we're just trying to focus on the present day and each taking one day at a time.
Yeah, and listen, the season is going really well for you guys. I mean, I know you're just coming off a 3-game skid, but you picked back up. Talk about what has been, I guess, the most surprising thing for you this season.
I'd just say like how close the team is. We lost 9 seniors last year, and they were all in one friend group, and they were super close. And this year coming in, Coach made it the 4 captains' job to just make the team as close as possible. And I think that the underclassmen have come in and done a great job of just mixing in with the older guys, and we've just become like one big unit.
Yeah, and that happened last year too, because I remember you guys came in the class when you guys were right away accepted, right? Is there something about the coach that's going on in the team there that really welcomes, underclassmen and everybody to the club?
Yeah, it's definitely the culture. I mean, it's just you pay your respects. Like when you're a young guy, you come in and you earn the respect of the older guys, and then as you get older, you got to do the same thing to the younger guys. So it's really just like a cycle that goes through. So it's really important, honestly, because it keeps the underclassmen and the upperclassmen together. And another big thing is, like, as the underclassmen come in, we're just all really connected. The freshmen, they get to play with some of the older guys from, coming as soon as 8th grade ends, and that just helps the bond a lot more.
Yeah, and I see you guys do a really good job of, getting the PAL guys to come and participate and be a part of the team. Now, you guys went through that.
Yeah.
Right? So is there a moment when you're, not at the Staples team, that something you participated that kind of, stuck with you through all of it?
Yeah, I mean, 8th grade, my brother was a junior. So, most of his friends were on varsity and playing. So, just, seeing games. It was COVID year, so I didn't get to go to games. It was, watching games online. That always stuck with me. I knew, I wanted to be out there one day having, my friends, younger brothers, watching me play.
Yeah, and that's interesting. You touched on that. So, you talked about, how they were playing and they were kind of your role models, right?
Yeah.
Do you think of yourself within the court as a role model that someone is watching you like you watch your brother's friends play and brothers? Does that go through your mind? How does that play in your mind?
Actually, I haven't really thought of that at all, but I mean, it's pretty cool to see because I know that when I was a freshman, I was lucky enough to go under some of my brother's best friends, like Caleb Tobias, for example, because he used to drive me everywhere for basketball, and just looking up to those guys, just seeing this is exactly where I want to be when I'm a senior or junior. So it's just really exciting to think that that's hopefully what I'm doing for the underclassmen this year.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, basketball, and I know that you're a big lacrosse guy as well. I've seen some of the lacrosse videos online. It's really, really cool stuff. So next, you're going to Michigan, right? You already decided that.
Yeah.
And you're playing lacrosse.
Yeah.
So talk about playing multiple sports, and how does lacrosse and basketball, in your mind, they connect together? How does one prepare you for the other?
Yeah, I think that the positions that I play just really bind together really well. So, for basketball-wise, I'm a point guard, so I'm supposed to be looking for my teammates. I'm definitely a pass-first point guard, a traditional guy. So, I mean, I'm always looking for Sam, who's over there. But just that's helped me in lacrosse because now Coach K turned me into an ex-attackman, and so I'm behind the net looking for my teammates at all times. So I think that that's really helped me with both sports, just having the vision to find my teammates at all times.
Yeah, and that's cool. So we're going to, I'm really excited about lacrosse season. It's a sport I haven't gotten too much into it, but like I said, I'm learning. I'm watching the videos. I'm trying to get into that. So talk about how your recruiting process went, from the first thing you remember to now. Because, one thing that I get questioned on a lot is the amount of Division I athletes that Staples puts out, right? I mean, especially the lacrosse program, you guys have been very successful. And there is, signing day coming up as well. But, you've already committed. Talk about how the process went for you, the first thing you remember, and how did you come to the decision?
Yeah, so it's a pretty exciting experience, but it really starts in the summer. So you play in a bunch of tournaments with your club team. I'm on Eclipse, who does a great job of getting a lot of kids recruited. So I played throughout the summer. I went to a lot of showcases, and then you take a little break, and then September 1st is the first day that coaches can reach out. So I decided I was going to stay up. It was 11 59 like the night before, and I was kind of freaking out because I didn't want to have like high expectations and get no calls or no text or anything, but I was fortunate enough to, when it hit 12, I received a couple of texts throughout that entire time from like 12 to 1, and it was really cool experience. And then a bunch of checks saying like set up calls throughout the day. So I was able to stay home and have a lot of conversations with coaches, which I was really grateful for. But I think I definitely worked hard I just worked hard to receive those calls. Yeah. So it was pretty special. And that was just the beginning. And then once you go on the phone, you see which schools like you. And then I took some visits, which were all really amazing. All the schools are really beautiful and everything. And then once I got to Michigan, I just knew like this is the place I wanted to be. It was really my dream school from the beginning. I knew that this is the place I wanted, but I was told not to have my heart set on one place just in case like they didn't want me.
No, but it's funny because you mentioned that, so I just went with that with my oldest son, right? It's funny, people say that when you get to the place that you're supposed to be, you know it.
Yeah.
You feel it. And that happened to you too, right?
100%, yeah.
And like it was cool. You mentioned about staying up. Now, a cool story that I remember seeing is I think it was the Deshaun Watson said that he's staying to 2 a.m. to see his first paycheck in his bank account. Yeah. It was almost like that. He said you stayed up, right? And it was text calls, people reaching out to you. Is that how it went?
Yeah, it was just it was a good amount of texts. But I mean, I was really nervous because I didn't know what to expect. I was told so they basically, like the college coaches, they talk to your high school and the club coaches, and they say if they're interested or not. And I knew a couple schools were interested in me, but I wasn't sure exactly what I'd get. And I was just really grateful that I received texts, especially from Michigan.
Yeah, no, that was cool. And now, as you look ahead, and you're still, it's cool that even though you're committed to lacrosse, you still do other sports.
Yeah.
Has that always been your mindset?
Yeah. Ever since I was very young, I've tried to play as many sports as possible. When I was younger, I was playing like baseball, hockey when I was in like kindergarten.
Well, I remember facing you in soccer when I was coaching. That was never a good experience because you guys always had a power team. I think Sam was on some of your teams. Those were pretty good teams as well.
Yeah, soccer was definitely my strong suit when I was a lot younger, but I wound up quitting that after my freshman year.
And you focus on more lacrosse. Was lacrosse always a sport, or was it basketball first? I remember you being very strong in basketball as well before the lacrosse thing.
It was always lacrosse, soccer, and basketball. I always would tell whichever season I was in, that was my favorite sport at the time.
Yeah.
But at some point, I had to make a decision on which sport I wanted to play college at, and I knew it obviously wasn't going to be basketball. So it was really between soccer and lacrosse, and I felt like I had a stronger connection with lacrosse than I did soccer, so I went with that.
Yeah, I mean, and the growth that lacrosse experienced in our town is pretty amazing, right?
It's great.
It is, like, because I remember when I got to town, about 15, 20 years ago, and lacrosse was, soccer really, the rec league, like, dominated. Yeah. And then lacrosse slowly just started chipping away, and it became big, right? And I think your generation is a big part of that.
Well, yeah, I'd say it has a lot to do with the high school coaching staff. I know Coach K has done a great job ever since he's come in and taken over the head coaching spot. He's done a great job of connecting the youth to the high school, and that's helped a lot of kids like stay in and just work a lot harder in the off season, trying to make like lacrosse only players here, which has definitely benefited the town.
It certainly has. And then now the basketball season, I just want to veer back to that.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like almost halfway through the season as we record this. And we met before the season started, right? Are the goals still the same?
The goals are definitely the same. We definitely want to be in the FCX championship, and we want to take that one home. And in D1 division, like we played St. Bernard and it didn't go our way, but we know like we could play with these teams. But we definitely have to perform better.
Yeah, I think, especially that St. Bernard game, it was at least looking from afar, it was weird because it seems like you guys early on, you were really in it. And then in the third, it just got away from you a little bit. Yeah. How do you assess that game?
Yeah, it's just they're definitely a lot bigger than us, but we know we have to play bigger than we really are, and we felt that we haven't really played an entire game to our potential. We've played quarters well. We've played a couple minutes here and there really well, but we haven't played a full 32-minute game really well. So that's what we're starting to work on as a team. Like, we know we have to dig in for 32 minutes in order to pull out these tough wins.
Yeah, and it's like I always feel like you want to be playing your better basketball towards the end of the season, right? So I mean, and then I think the FC. Now, one thing I was looking up. So it looks Division 1. Everybody plays the state tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's already a relief because you know that you're going to have postseason play.
Yeah.
But I know that the FCAC's really big for you guys because the rivalry there. I mean, that Ridgefield game was really it was such a good game to be a part of, and now the crowd has been really great at these games. I mean, the student sections have been great, and I think everybody's really getting to you guys and really enjoying watching you. How do you guys feel in the court when you get the gym and everybody's there, all your schoolmates are there, and everybody's cheering you on? How does that feel?
I mean, it helps a lot, 100%. Like, just looking out, hearing people rooting for you definitely motivates you a lot more. And it's something that we've learned that it doesn't just come to you. You have to earn.
Yes.
Like, we needed to come out and we needed to beat teams if we wanted anyone to come watch us, because especially this year, like, no one thought we were going to be any good without Chris Sajak. So coming and we knew, like, we needed to win the first couple of games. We needed to get people excited about basketball. And I thought we did a good job of that in the first few weeks.
No, you did. And that's the thing, like, that's to me is unique about, college and high school is that players move on.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like every year you feel like you're starting from scratch, right? You have to find your identity. So if you could just maybe like sum up a little bit of what do you think is this team's identity going forward in the rest of the season?
Well, we talk about it all the time. Our identity is our defense. That's what's going to make us score. That's what's going to make us win games. If we're able to defend for 32 minutes, we're going to be in really good shape. It also has to do with our offense. Like, if we play good defense, then our offense is much better. But every time the other team scores, it just takes a mental hit on all of us, and which isn't a good thing, but it definitely, if you watch us play, like other team hits a three, like we all put our heads down, which is something we definitely got to work on. But if we're able to get stops, we're able to put the ball in the hoop more.
You are. Well, one thing that I saw was interesting as we recorded this, you guys just played, was New Canaan, right? Was it New Canaan? No, Darien. So I was watching the Darien game, and I think you guys dominated the whole game, and then they got within 8.
Yeah.
But then I think Nick hit a big 3, and that kind of lifted you guys up. So it seems like you guys get to these moments where a basket comes, and and it kind of lifts you up. So your spirits, as you said, as they go down, come back up. Wow, and that's preparation, right? Yeah,
it's definitely. But it's something that we've also been working on is, like, when we miss shots, we still got to defend. It's all like offense has to marry the defense and defense has to marry the offense. So it's all just one big cycle. If we could just, stay positive the entire game, it's going to make a big impact.
No, it is. And now, if you, like we were talking about being role models, right? And I think a lot of, young kids, they're maybe in 8th grade, middle school, pal, they're always looking up to you guys. What is the biggest advice you'd give them? Say, hey, I want to play at Staples, and I want to wear that S. So what's the biggest advice you give them to get to the level that you are today?
I just say, like, if you really want to compete at the highest level, you got to put the work in. Some of the freshmen that have come in recently, Sam, Mason, Dylan Lohman, Austin, like, these guys, it's not the standard to come in as a freshman and just play on varsity. But if you put the work in, you're definitely capable of doing it. These guys aren't the biggest, the strongest, but they come in with so much, like, preparation that it allows them to play on varsity as freshmen. And that goes for other sports too. Like, Josh Marcus started as a freshman for lacrosse. Like, these guys come in prepared and have worked hard. So, if you're in 8th grade and you think, like, oh, like, I'll play varsity in 3 years, like their mindset should be like, I'm going to put the work in now so I can play next year or within 2 years.
Yeah, that's interesting because it's about putting in the work, right?
Yeah.
It's when going to going in the field and nobody's there, right? It's always people say, like, basically the work you do in the dark gets revealed in the light, right? So it's all the work you put in, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you then, if you could, kind of play just one sport all season long, and I hate to put you in a spot like that, but I know it's probably be lacrosse. But as you look at all the sports you played, any regrets there, or did you go back and do all of them again to help you out?
There's one thing that I regret, but I also don't because I don't know how I'd fit it in. But I've always wanted to play football, tackle football. Even, like, now I still want to play. I just know, like, I'm not allowed to. But I remember, like, I want to say I was in, like, 6th or 7th grade, and it got to the point where I was, like, watching, like, TV shows on tackle football, and I wanted to play so badly, and my parents would yell at me, like, no, like, because, like, it was, like, soccer and football was during the same season.
Tried to fall, yeah.
Yeah, soccer was year-round because I was playing beachside, so I wasn't able to, and at one point I was, like, willing to give up soccer, but luckily my parents pushed me away from from football.
Talk
Like
you out
they
of
weren't
it.
like, no, you can't play, but they were like, do you really want to give up soccer? So,
Yeah.
but I mean, if I got one chance to play just one football game, I just want to see how it would go.
How you go, right? Yeah, listen, I think that a lot of people would think that, right? I mean, I played 2 years of football,
Yeah.
and it's a tough sport. It's a tough sport, but it's I think everything kind of builds you up to what you are today, right? So I mean, I think it's been very successful for you. I mean, going to Michigan next year is going to, I mean, in 2 years now. You're still just a junior.
Yeah.
I know, it's like I talk to guys who look like seniors, but look, it's been great having you. Thanks so much for being here, for being so open.
Thank you.
We want to end with some quick hits here, all right? So the artists get to know you a little bit on a personal level, all right? So I'm going to ask some questions. You can give one-word answers or you can expand on them, okay? We got plenty of time. So, all right, let's start. So TikTok or Instagram?
Instagram.
Instagram. What's your favorite artist or song? What pumps you up before the game? What's scene?
There's a lot of Drake.
A lot of Drake. What favorite? Do you have a favorite song of Drake's or just?
No favorites, just Drake.
Okay. What's the last series that you binge watched?
Suits, so good.
I recently did that as well. Yeah, that's. I think like we go through series. Everybody's kind of does the same thing, right?
Yeah,
So
everyone
Suits is
started watching Suits recently.
Yeah, Suits is really really good. Pizza or ice cream?
Ice cream.
Fiction or nonfiction?
Fiction.
Amusement parks or water parks?
I get too nauseous, so I'm gonna go water parks.
One thing you can't live without?
My bed.
Your bed. The coolest thing in your room?
Kevin Durant signed jersey.
Very nice. What superpower do you wish you had?
I wish I had the Flash of speed.
If you could have lunch or dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would that be?
Ooh, this is a good one. There's so many people. I'd probably go with I'd say Michael Jordan. That'd be so much fun to sit with him.
My next question would be Jordan or LeBron, so I don't need to ask that one. That's pretty obvious there.
The GOAT is not him.
Yeah. Listen, I'm with you on that. I had the conversation with Coach Goldshore, and we totally agreed as well. So it seems like that's trending on the right direction. And last one here: if you could go back in time to the first day of sixth grade, what would you give? What advice would you give yourself?
So many things. I was definitely not looking great in sixth grade. I just say keep putting the work in and keep going out there and just giving it your all.
Awesome. Adam, again, thanks so much for being here. All right. Good luck the rest of the season. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.